Microplastic, a word that since the late 20th century has made its way into everyday vocabulary. But what is it? The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, as well as various research papers, state that a microplastic is any piece of plastic smaller than 5 millimeters in diameter. When you think about it, that's smaller than the size of a single peppercorn, barely visible to the naked eye. Some plastics are manufactured this size, while others are the result of breakdown and fragmentation of larger pieces. So why are we interested in them? Well, since the 1950s, plastic production has increased by over 270 million tonnes. With that increase, there has been a significant rise in plastic pollution, making it the principal component of marine debris. Manufactured on land, the excessive usage, durability, and extremely low recycling rates has allowed for plastic to unnecessarily build up. Then, transported by winds, runoff, and various waterways, they are easily able to fragment and accumulate in our oceans. Due to the size of microplastics, they are able to be ingested and begin to bioaccumulate in small organisms. Plastic is also a vector for heavy metals, which means toxins not previously available to organisms are now also able to bioaccumulate, causing harm. Not only are plastics and the toxins they bring with them building up in smaller organisms, they have the ability to biomagnify their way up the food chain to threaten larger organisms, including humans. To better understand the significant impacts of microplastics, my team and I headed to Pittwater tide-dominated estuary to see how the abundance of microplastics is spread across the Greater Sydney area. This area was chosen as it is renowned for being a recreational playground for Sydney-siders and other visitors. Depicted as a picturesque coastal area, it is interesting to what our findings conclude regarding the levels of pollution. On the 26th of August 2018, we travelled to 8 sites along Pittwater estuary, collecting 4 sediment samples at each of these sites. Back at the lab, we used various methods to separate plastic particles from 4 litres of sediment. During the time of our microplastic study, there was also another team assessing the heavy metal zinc in the area. Statistical analysis of our data found a trend of increasing microplastic as you head away from Bayview towards Barrenjoey Head. Statistically speaking, we found a significant difference between the amount of plastics found at sites 1, 2 and 3 compared to sites 4 through 8. Interestingly, the team sampling heavy metals also found a similar trend with their sites 1, 2 and 4 being significantly different to sites 3 and 5. So what does all this mean? Well, in terms of Pittwater, we can say that although it may appear picturesque from afar, under a microscope it is riddled with microplastics, possibly harbouring toxic zinc ions just waiting to make their way up the food chain. If there's plastic in Pittwater, there's most likely plastic in every other Sydney waterway. So what can we do about it? How can we minimise the amount of microplastic in Pittwater estuary? And how can we minimise that plastic from entering the oceans? Well, there are a few levels. On an industrial level, we could minimise the production of unnecessary plastics, cut out microplastics, cut out single-use plastics. At a regional or council level, we can monitor the disposal of plastics, make sure the local businesses are following guidelines and laws. If there aren't any, implement them. And finally, what about the individual? Those of you watching this video that feel they can't make an impactful difference. Make small changes. Reduce your individual plastic use. Don't buy products containing microplastics. Research proper recycling methods. Participate in beach cleanups. Sign the endless petitions and support bans. The list is endless.